networking. Amanda helps small business win big at online strategy. She's a blogger, a vlogger, a podcaster, and a self-confessed content addict. She's an award-winning nationally and internationally, and she loves to talk marketing. When not creating websites or content, she loves watching Doctor Who and playing with her cats. I give you Amanda.
Good morning, WordCamp. Woo! You know what's really great? Getting up really early on a Saturday morning to go to work, yeah? Oh, I know it's not work, it's fun, but still. So, I'm glad to hear we have some energy in the room, because I've got something really important to talk to you about today. I've got an issue we need to talk about. It's this guy. This guy, the content gremlin. He's the guy that sits on your shoulder as soon as you sit down to write a blog post or make a video or do a live stream, and he says, you're wasting your time. This isn't getting you any sales. This is a complete waste of time. You get that knot in your stomach and you go, oh, I think he's right. Maybe I should be doing something else. Do we know this guy? Who knows this guy? Yeah? I know this guy and I have a strategy. Shut up. Okay, we have some weapons, luckily, that we can use against Mr. Content Gremlin. We give him a name? All the names I'm thinking of I will not say because it's too controversial. We'll just call him Mr. Gremlin. Okay, so the first weapon, the first sword, if you like, that we can swipe at him is our website, which is good because we're all WordPress users. We all have websites. Fabulous. Secondly, we have our email marketing. And everyone's going, yeah, that's something I should be doing. I've got an email list. And the third thing is social media. And there's a lot of people that go, yay, I love social media. And there's a load of people that are like, no, I hate social media. But actually, we're going to need these three weapons. Otherwise, that Mr. Content Gremlin, he's going to stay on our shoulders. We're not going to be able to fight him away. Are you ready to fight? Yes. Are you ready to fight? Yes. Good. Because we're going to get him. And we're going to start with boring words. Boring words, websites and processes. Boring. But the simple things that you can do, every interaction you have with your customer, make it magical. Things like when you send a thank you email when somebody buys off you, don't just say, your purchase has been received, some data, this is when it's coming. That's great, that's informational. But if you want people to start talking about you, you need it to be magical. So this is one from a company that sells products made of wool, unusual products made of wool. So they've created something a little bit more personalised, a little bit more quirky that you might remember, that you might tell people about, that's going to make you feel good about the company. It is the right-hand side. On the right-hand side, you know when you go to a website and there's a form you have to fill in? That's great, isn't it? Who loves filling in forms? I love it. So people go to this River Pools website. They sell swimming pools, not in Ireland, obviously, because that would be stupid. And they go to their website. They have a video for you to watch, which I'm going to show you, that will convince you that it's okay to fill in this form. Let's all cross our fingers, because I've got computer issues. It did all work earlier, so let's see what happens. It's playing, it's thinking about it, it's beach balling. We'll just talk amongst ourselves while my computer gets around to it. It is my computer, nobody else panic. Anyone else have issues with their computer like this? No. Only happens when you're doing a presentation and a live stream at the same time, I have to say.
What's up,
here we
guys?
go.
Christian here with River Pools. Listen, we've all had that uncomfortable moment when it's time to send their contact information online. And you wonder, am I going to be inundated with spam email? Am I going to receive a million phone calls from different...
Are there any Seinfeld fans in the room? This is the only tech bit I had, so we're okay. It says it's playing. Okay, we'll skip. But basically, he talks you through exactly what will happen. He's going to start talking again, so I'm just going to switch on. When you fill in the form, we're going to phone you once, and you won't be added to any mailing lists. That's all that's going to happen. We won't phone you over and over again. We won't bug you forever for the rest of your life when you fill in the form. This is all that's going to happen. And it's a really effective video because, and they obviously on their website, they've got a big call to action to watch the video, because that's going to get people who are are thinking about it but not quite sure, will I fill in this form? It's going to grab a few of those people who would abandon at that point. Then we've got social media. Make sure it's very intuitive for your people who visit your social media sites to know what to do. What do I do when I go to a Facebook page? Is there a big button? It doesn't show as big on desktop. On mobile, it's a big old button. Where does that take people? Did you set that up 2 years ago and never change it? So think about where you're sending people. I love this one actually from Harvester on Twitter, because in their bio itself, it's not their main link, but in their bio itself, they've got a link asking for customer support feedback. What's that doing? Well, number one, if you've got a problem, you may be about to tweet them, but you're going, oh, actually, I'd rather do that privately and maybe this will work better. But secondly, when I visit that, I go, God, they really care about their customers. So thinking about all those little magical moments that you can put into your content are great weapons against, we're not giving him a name, Mr. Monster. Part 2, our setup and our objectives. So objectives, goals. Let's talk about goals. Very often, and this is the thing, this is where the gremlin creeps in, we go, well, I need to make sales. I want to increase my sales. Of course you want to increase your sales, otherwise you'll be out of business. But if that is the only statistic you focus on and you don't look how you're going to build towards those sales, you'll still be out of business because nobody will have ever heard of you. So you need to set goals like growing your followers. I know everyone just thinks that's a vanity statistic. Guess what? If nobody's following you on social media, nobody sees your posts, you are wasting your time. The gremlin is winning. So look at growing your followers over a period of time, because the more you grow them, that means you're going to be able to increase your sales. Grow your email list, because email is fabulous at selling. Fabulous at selling. Fabulous at driving traffic to your website and getting people to buy. So that's something you should grow. Grow your website visits, because the more people that visit your website, assuming they're going there for the right reason, the more conversions you're going to get, the more sales. And then engagement, because when people talk to us on social, it's not a waste of time. Guess what, gremlin? It's a really good, if you're talking to the right people, use of time. So can you get people to like and comment more? Can you get them to share your content more? And the problem with goals, I'm sure you've had this, the problem with goals is you set a goal and you don't really know where to start. So you set one ridiculously high, and it's for the year. And at the end of month 1, you haven't even made 1% of your goal. And you're like, oh, I'm just going to give up. Yeah, there's no point doing that. Anyone? Anyone done that? I've done that. Or you set them really low, right? So after month 1 of the year, you have completed all your goals. So for the rest of the year, you just sit around tapping your fingers. I'm sorted. So I went to, I don't know if Marianne is here early this morning, but I went to Learn Inbound a couple of years ago, and there was a speaker that suggested having a report card. So instead of just setting one goal, set graded goals. So I wanted to grow my email list by 50%, remember? But if I beat that, if I grow my email list by 75%, then I get an A. Anyone a straight A student here? That's good, because I'd be worried. Okay, if I get 50%, I'm going to call it B. I'm going to say, yeah, I've achieved my goal, but could have done better. C, 30%, D, 20%. All of those are a pass. A fail, less than 20%. And when you set this and then you look as you go, actually, I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. I'm going to get a C. I might not get my 50%, but I'm still going to achieve a goal. And it actually just motivates you a lot more. So try that tactic out. Yeah, now it doesn't want to move on slide. Somebody can murder my computer later, because now I've got, yeah. Okay, so you need some tools. You're going to need to invest in some tools, so invest wisely. You're going to need something for project management. You're going to need something for your website. What are you using for your website? Yeah. Nobody said anything else. Good. Good. You're going to need something to manage your email marketing. You're going to need tools to help you with your content creation. You're going to need to choose your social networks, because one mistake we make is I need to be on everything. It's like, oh, TikTok, everyone's using TikTok. I'm going to start using that. Anyone using TikTok? I thought somebody put their hand up. They're just taking a photo. Okay. Yes. And that's a problem. Well, it's not a problem using TikTok if it's the right one, but choose which ones you're going to use. What social media management tool are you going to use? What measurement tools are you going to use? So the ones on the screen are the ones I use, so I like them, but just anything. Just make sure you've got some sort of process in place. Our third step is to build our audience, because like I say, no audience, nobody knows about us, nobody's going to buy from us. So how do we build our audience? Firstly, you need to know who you want in your audience. And this is the thing that every marketer ever stands up and says. Create a customer avatar, create a customer profile, as if it's just that easy. Has anyone tried to create one? It's not that easy, really. You can make it up out of your head. I can say, oh yes, John is 17 and he wants to come and watch me speak at WordCamp, but it's not that easy. I could do a whole presentation on this, but there's loads of resources online and I wanted to do more than that. But it is really important just to get a rough idea of the group of people even that you want to target, because everything you do should be based on that. Even if it's just people in Dublin between 30 and 50, at least you're narrowing it down a little bit and you can work on that over time. And once you know those people, you can start identifying influencers. I've just said influencers and everyone in the room went like this, right? But I'm not talking about Pippa O'Connor, I'm not talking about Sosumi, I'm not talking about Kim Kardashian, I'm talking about like micro-influencers, people whose followers are in the thousands, but are a good representation of your target market. If you can find those people and they have an audience of people who are similar to your target market, it's a great way to reach people. Lidl do this really effectively. You can see on their Instagram account that they have 2 influencers highlighted on their account. And when you look at these people, they don't have millions of followers. They have thousands of followers, but they're very interactive with their followers. And also, I don't know, does anyone know Katrina Redmond here? She's from this manor. Yeah. So Katrina is the perfect representation of a Lidl customer. You know, she's a family woman. She also has a job, so she's busy. She also loves to cook. So they found someone that's a perfect fit of their ideal customer who does have a good active community. So don't just think influencers, will you? The next up is, once you've decided who your influencers are, look on your website, look at the content that you can create with those influencers. I'm not talking about paying here, so you don't need to put your hand in your pocket. Just find a group of people that your audience respects and are interested in and ask them a question. Ask them a question that is interesting to your audience, that you can collate together into a blog post, which we call an influencer post. I did this a few years ago for International Women's Day. I got 17, I would say micro influencers. None of these people had massive followings. And I asked them what their morning routines were, because I knew at the time everyone was into morning routines. I have lemon juice in my water and then I go to yoga. Nobody said that, by the way. And this post got over 700 views or 700 visits within a week, which for my blog is quite good. I don't know, I'm sure there's some like exceptional bloggers here, but it totally works for me. The problem with influencer posts, and you've probably seen this yourself, is you'll get stuff like this. 250,000 food bloggers share their top cooking tip. This is useless, because one of the nice things about influencer posts is not just that the people you feature in your influencer post share it with their audiences, which expands your audience, but it's also that it's a good read, that people will actually read it. I got an email from someone offering to feature me in an influencer post. It was going to be the biggest ever influencer post. And when that post got published, it had a menu at the front, A to Z, so that you could find the influencer you were looking for. Who's looking? Who's looking? Who's looking for my name on that influencer list? Me! I'm the only person that is looking for my name. So that page may have got loads of visits, but it's not really doing anything to establish the brand. It's not helpful information that everyone's going to be looking for. So if you are creating something, keep it small and keep the influencers small as well. You can also create a mega post, so the ultimate guide to. That sort of stuff does really well. For example, here, Professional's Guide to Becoming a Wedding Planner covers, it's thousands and thousands, it's a book basically, but it is so helpful that it's a sort of resource that's going to get loads of traffic, it's going to rank well on Google, it ranked #1, it's going to rank well on Google, it's going to drive a lot of people to your site, and it's so helpful that people will remember you and keep coming back. I made a mistake when I did that influencer post. So I got 700 visits in a week. I mean, it's continued since then, but I didn't do anything to capture the people who visited my site. So think about that. If you are creating a post, or if you have a post already that gets a lot of traffic, put some sort of lead capture on. So this is our email marketing piece. I have a download that you can get. It does have a checkbox. It is GDPR compliant. Just going to mention that in case it comes up in questions. That gets people to sign up to your mailing list. So I'm not going to get 700 people, but even if I got 7 people to sign up for my mailing list, they're people I can try to sell to in the future. And talking of mailing lists, do have some sort of juicy freebie. Think about, when people are looking for lead incentives, very often they just do something quickly. But if you can think of something that is irresistible to your ideal customer, it's going to do so much better. When I started using the lead incentive on the right-hand side, which is a strategy template, it's 90 pages long or something. It's got all your sheets and worksheets. You can all download it. You don't even have to sign up to my mailing list. You'll find it on the homepage of my website. The one on the left-hand side is for an online boutique. And they just call you a VIP. They're not really giving you anything. There's a VIP, and everyone goes into a draw every month to win a voucher for the shop. But there's no, you know what you're getting. So always be thinking about how is it that you can get someone interested enough to want to get regular emails from you. And I am 100% behind only getting the right people to sign your email list, because there's nothing worse than having thousands of people on a list and having like a 10% open rate. You're like, why am I bothering? Why am I bothering? On social, I know all of you, anyone got a Facebook page for their business or running Facebook pages for other businesses? Yeah, one of the tactics I'm sure you're all using is inviting people who react to your posts to like your page. It's kind of standard practice within Facebook. But rather than just thinking of that, look at the posts that are doing really well on Facebook for you. So I think a mistake people make with Facebook ads is they think, I've got this piece of content, I really want more people to see it, and they spend money boosting it. In fact, you should just put the piece of content up, see if it does well, and if it does well, boost it. So find the best content you put up every week, the one that's getting reactions already. That's the one to put the money behind. It will help you grow your audience and your engagement, and further down the line you can convert that into sales. If your boost gets more reactions, that's more people you can invite to your page. Use video. How many people have told you that in the last few years? Use video. Yeah, well, one person. Nobody else thought. 2 people. Nobody else has been told to use video. Use video. Use video. I did a challenge in my Facebook group earlier on this year, where I got everyone to post one video post to their Facebook page every day for 30 days. These are results from my page. Got 21 new likes, which isn't massive, but actually it's hard enough to get likes now on Facebook. I got an increase of 150% on my engagements, an increase of 256% on my reach. And they were a variety of videos. Some were long, some were short, some were really quick little snippets. Use video. Use video, it works. Follow people. You know who really cares about the ratio of followers you have on Twitter or Instagram? You know who really cares? Other marketers and you, right? Customers don't go, well, I'm not going to WordCamp because they follow more people than follow them. Is there anyone here not here today because of that, do you think? And if they're not missing anything, to be honest, because they're idiots. So follow people, look at the people who follow them, and then move on from that. Add tags, locations, and mentions to your stories on Instagram and Facebook. They do really work. I've proof. If you can get someone else to give you a shout out, it really works. I've got less than 1,500 followers on Instagram. I don't even know how many. I posted a story on Monday morning, got seen by 99 people. The person I tagged in the story, they tapped through to their profile. 8 of those 99 people tapped through to their profile. Step number 4, engagement strategy. Now, when you come to a talk like this, and it's about digital marketing, you're thinking content probably. You think, she means content marketing, surely, right? Content is only a part of what we should be doing online. It's only a small part. In fact, a bigger part of what we should be doing online is talking to people. That's what really helps. That one-to-one connection you can build with people is what turns people into customers, which pushes people over the edge to choose you over someone else. And there's 2 parts to your engagement strategy. There's one is content-based, because it's creating content that provokes discussion. And then there's engaging directly with your audience, going and talking to people on Twitter, going and talking to people on Instagram. You can just go and do that. Joining Facebook groups, talking to people there. Not selling, talking, getting to know them. On your website, simple things you can do. Nobody leaves blog comments anymore, I believe. I got one the other day, I almost fell off my chair. And it wasn't spam. It didn't even have a link in it or anything. But simple things you can do on your website, make it easy for people to talk to you when they're going through the purchasing process. You can put a messenger bot that connects to Facebook, or you can use something like Intercom to talk to your customers while they're there. I'm in love with this tool. Has anyone using Bonjoro? Anyone even heard of it? Oh, it's so good. One person. Are you addicted? I am totally addicted. It's like the heroin of tools. Because I'd heard about it, I started using it this week, and I was going, how to add that to my presentation. What it does is it hooks up to your email marketing, and you can, it will tell you every time somebody subscribes to your mailing list. And you can send them a personalised video message. So I recorded a whole sleuth of these this week and sent them out to people. I went and looked at their websites and, left some personal messages. And I got great response. But why it's addictive is because it gives you stats. I'm quite addicted to stats anyway, but these are amazing. Like every time somebody opens your email, it tells you, like a little thing pops up on your phone. Every time somebody watches your video, it tells you, you get a little notification. So I said my first batch was 7. I got 86% open, which was 6 out of the 7. Out of the people that opened, every single person watched my personalised video. I got 3 comments that don't come up on this. And 1 person clicked my call to action to book a call with me. If that person becomes a customer, that was worth the time I spent on that alone. So that's what, and then I was like, oh, give me more, I want to send out more. So now my phone pings every time I get a new subscriber and I can record a video for them. Try it, it's just the best. Get to know your audience with polls. Try polls on Facebook, on Twitter, ask questions, all that stuff gets loads of engagement, gets people remembering you and talking to you and feeling like they know you. Check on your Discover tabs, Instagram and Twitter. And then when you find something that you know is golden for your audience, second mention for Lidl here, they are exceptionally good on social, I have to say. People were talking about avocados a while ago. They were talking about how millennials couldn't buy houses because they were eating avocados. Do you remember that? Yeah, they trend-jacked it. Smart, huh? Reply to people's stories. Don't just passively scroll through looking at stories. Reply when you see something interesting. Get into conversations with people. We talked about adding tags to your stories. If you add questions, if you add polls, if you add the news quiz sticker, if you use the slider poll, all that proves that people aren't just clicking through what you're doing. It proves that they're engaged with your stories. And you'll actually be pleasantly surprised how many people are willing to engage when you do that stuff. Set up a Facebook group, but not a Facebook group that is a mirror of your Facebook page. You went, I'm getting no reach from Facebook now, I am going to move over to a group. Don't do that. Set up a group that is useful to your customers. This one from Monzo Bank is about the Penny Saving Club UK Challenge. And it's just a place for them to gather people that they know are interested in saving money, because what do banks do? Help you save money. Step number 5 is, I am shocked by how many businesses on social media never get round to telling people what they sell. Do you see this? Are you guilty of this? There's businesses on social media and all they do is sell, and there's businesses who never do it. We need to put out sales posts. But the problem is, when you get a sales post, you go, oh, well, I'm just going to create a buy this now thing and think it's going to work its magic. There is a formula to sales posts. Think about what's the problem that you're solving and put that front and centre. Do you like getting up early on a Saturday morning? Do you want to know more about marketing your business online? That's the problem. What are your options? Well, you could read a book, you could read a blog, you could just give up, give in to the content gremlin, or you could come to WordCamp and learn how to do all this stuff. And on social, you're going to need an image as well, because otherwise people will scroll right on by. Be a guide to what you do. Answer every possible customer question that you can think of. So this is for, has anyone been to Padstow? Does anyone know where Padstow is? Where? Cornwall. That was my guess too. I don't know how I found this blog, but I found this blog. I bookmarked this blog because they answer every question about if you wanted to go on a holiday to Padstow, because that's what they sell, holidays in Padstow. Pubs to go to, restaurants to visit, things to do. Monzo Bank did this really clever post about all the things that they are searched for on Google. Make sure on your website that you're giving people all the information you need. From Laura Perman Headshots here, she's got the whole process. If you book or if you get in touch with her looking for headshots, a whole process that she'll go through. It's reassuring. It makes you trust her. It makes you know you want to book with her. On your email marketing, think about that too. So on the left-hand side, when somebody signs up to their mailing list, this food company give you a voucher that you can use on their online store. So it's not just getting that passive sign up to the mailing list, it's getting people to actually take it one step further. My friend Janet Murray is a genius at selling. She doesn't just do blog posts that answer every question, she sells these diary planner things. That's one of the things she does. And she will send constant emails to me addressing every single objection I could have to wanting a planner. And I go, oh, finally I will give in, because they're nice. Grand Canyon Whitewater Tools, I'm going to play this video, but there's no sound because I just want to talk over it. This is one of the most popular, it may never play. Oh, there's not supposed to be any sound. Stop, okay. That didn't happen. I'm out of time anyway. But anyway, this is how to fill in a form on their website to apply to go on a tour. And it's one of the most watched videos on their YouTube channel. Get people to leave reviews, because when people see reviews for other people, they feel reassured that they're making the right decision. And finally, when you've done all that, to keep that content gremlin at bay, you need to know it's working. So you need to evaluate. I'm not going to go into Google Analytics and all that stuff now. We wouldn't have time anyway, and that's a whole session on its own. But just remember your goals from the beginning. Go, and it's easy. Once you know your goals, it's easy to go and measure that on a weekly basis to see how close you're getting to your goals. So just keep a record of that every single week and adjust your goals if you have to. And once you've done all that, and this guy, Mr. Gremlin turns up and he sits on your shoulder and he says, you're wasting your time. You go, no, I'm not here. He's gone. He's dead. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Amanda. I think that was a brilliant talk.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions? Very quiet this morning. Please.
How much time do you actually spend creating content for yourself on an average week?
I try and keep it down to one day a week, because that way I can keep it really well in my schedule. It's always like, how much time do you need? It's how much time you've got. So if you can set aside like half a day a week, if you can set aside 2 hours a week, it's just you're going to have to manage what you can in that space of time. So it will just, you can't do everything in 2 hours, but you can totally focus on a couple of things in 2 hours.
Hi. I'm an artist. I just graduated my MA in fine art painting, but unknown to myself, during the year, the heritage groups discovered my paintings and want me to do, say, an exhibition on invasive species in Ireland. However, a lot of my more popular paintings would not achieve critical acclaim with the top galleries and that sort of thing, or be taken seriously by, say, the county councils and that. And I'm finding it very hard to, should I set up 2 pages? I have a website, WordPress, which is my serious one. But the other paintings generate a lot of money, and so the prints of these paintings, they would be more nostalgic, that sort of thing.
So
I'm always with that, making a brand for myself would be I suppose, the socially engaged practice of community arts education, that sort of thing.
where did the people who want to run the exhibition find you?
They found me at a show, and then I gave them a link to my website.
Right, okay.
Because I was in the art college and Galway, they kind of it all in together.
It's such a complex question. I'd need to look at more of what you're doing, but my instinct is always to keep it on one site because it's just so time consuming to try and keep 2 going. I don't want to give you a definitive answer without looking more at what you're doing, but you could definitely segment it into 2 sections on your website, like even 2 categories from your blog. You can make those different menus on your website. That could really work.
I think there's a question down here.
What do you think about the Pinterest? It's a new social media channel. That strategy there became faster growing in market in 2000.
Yeah, Pinterest is great. They will tell you they're not a social network. They'll tell you that they're a search engine, which I actually kind of agree with because you haven't got as much, there's no point trying to have a conversation on Pinterest. Nobody wants you to have there. It's absolutely brilliant at driving web traffic, even to like B2B stuff like mine. I'm just kind of lazy on Pinterest. It's not one of the key ones that I've chosen to focus on. I'm interested to see how it will grow in Ireland as well, because we know it's very big in some regions, but we're not quite sure where it is. So and also because it hooks up so well now to e-commerce. I think if you're an e-commerce site, it has to be one of your key social networks, really, even though it's not a social network, like I just said.
I think we have time for one more. Millie?
I just wanted to know what your favourite social media channel is.
Twitter. I'm trying to do more Instagram, so I'm a little bit lazy. Well, I'm saying lazy, it's just you've only got so much time in the day. So I love Twitter. I would happily spend all my time there, but I'm very aware a lot of my customers are on Instagram, so I'm trying to be a little bit more proactive there. And Facebook's the one I use the most, but definitely not my favourite. I think a lot of us feel that way, right?
I'd say actually we could have one more question because there is a delay, I believe, in the start of track B. So, yeah.
So, as someone that is trying to build a personal brand but doesn't have much time and doesn't want to set crazy goals, what would you say that is the more important metric that we should follow?
What is it you want to get out of being a personal brand?
It's not really sales, it's more just people
awareness.
knowing you. Yeah.
So it is, you're going to need to build a relevant following. So you do need to nail that customer persona. You need to, not as a customer, but who you want to follow you, because that's really important. Customer numbers are unimportant if it's the wrong people. So that's your first phase of awareness, is get your reach. You need to get your reach up on all those channels, which does mean posting a lot of conversational content, but really appealing to that right audience. And then a growth in followers. And I go for a percentage. The percentage becomes smaller the bigger your audience gets, because it's really hard to, like, if you've got 50,000 followers, it's hard to get another 25,000 in a month or something, but, so that's what I'd look at. I'd look at nailing your persona, looking at growing, seeing where you are with that persona, use the analytics tools to find out where you are with that persona now, and look at growing that specifically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just wondering, how much time do you actually spend engaging with people as opposed to creating content? Is there any sort of ratio that you spend on that?
I know I should have a ratio, but it's a really good question. No, I still spend more time creating content, but not as much content. So I used to post like 3 blog posts a week, do a live stream, do a podcast. Now I do 1 blog post a week and 1 live stream a week. And that takes a lot of time, but it's the quality of it that I've got into. So then I have to do the engaging, otherwise nobody watches or looks at the blog post, which is the big piece, because those blog posts now are not very SEO. They're very aimed at my target market. We're out of time.
Yeah.
Thank you. I can go to the WordPress, what's it called? The WordPress support room I shall be going to now if anyone else has any questions. Thank you.
And up next in this track is Kaylee Thorpe cleaning up a hacked WordPress site. Okay.